distance, fan moved towards it, and when I did that,
So, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Ajasvidas. This is my wife Sudhir Milasna. And we live in Croatia. Originally I'm from Bosnia. My wife is from Russia. And for maybe 10 years we already live in Croatia. We usually singing Kirtan and also doing some small workshops, seminars about rediscovering the secrets. As you could see, maybe you could see the title, Rediscovering the Secret. You saw? Yes. So we will tell you what is the secret. This is like a secret, not just the topic of the seminar. But we really feel honored and we feel great pleasure to be here with you and to share this wonderful wisdom with all of you and to be here together on the festival, to sing Kirtan together. And then to experience some wonderful experiences with Krishna and with all the devotees. Like, there is this song, probably you've heard the song, Adiva's song. It's a song which you sing the day before the festival. And it's, think of from Vrindavan Das Thakur song. And in this song he described how tomorrow there will be big festivity with all the devotees, and by the help and the glance of the devotees, we will be able to see the beautiful pastimes of Lord. So in different ways. So this is also a little bit related with the topic of the workshop or seminar, rediscovering the secret. Yeah. So what is the secret here? Definitely, probably you watched the movie Matrix, maybe, I don't know. But this main character in the movie was constantly feeling that something is wrong with the world. It's like feeling that something is wrong, something is not as it is, as it looks like. So, after all, he discovered, and on the end, he discovered the secret. So we will try to together with you to speak about the secret, and we know what is the secret, of course. I mean, most of us. And the secret is Krishna. Yes.
I'm so sorry to disturb. It's a little difficult to hear you.
Okay, we will get microphone.
we're working on it, but something is not working, and I will be lost.
Okay, we will just now warm up ourselves, then I will continue. Okay, thank you, Krishna. So we can warm up our voices and the bodies also. Usually we are leading the vocal courses, and we do some exercises in the beginning. So let us do some exercises. You can position yourself very comfortably, and let us just move ourselves a little bit, so we can do like this. So simultaneously, take a deep breath and raise your hand. And relax. As much as you can, keep your back straight. You can throw your hands down. You can inhale new fresh energy and exhale the old one. Okay. Let us move our lips a little bit, because we will speak also and we will sing. So we will do like this. We will use our G sharp key. These are professional exercises. It's a very serious thing. Take a deep breath, and take care that when you're taking deep breath, you expand your stomach. The stomach is not going inside when you inhale, but it's going outside when you inhale. This is actually the proper breathing. So. Okay. How do you feel this part? A little bit more relaxed. It's more, we can say more better the words. So next exercise. The next exercise is for the tongue. You can come even more closer if you want. Okay, next one. La 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 la. And you can also use your hands. For example, when you do la 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 la. Wonderful. It's very good when we use our body because we get the support of the body. In this world, we need to use our body because body is also divine structure created by Lord Shri Krishna. All world is created by Him. And we can do the scale. I will show you how. La 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 la. Not like this fast, but we can do together. Okay. We can do 3 times. La 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 la. Now a little bit faster. La 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 la. And more faster. La 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 la. Okay, wonderful. And the last exercise to warm up ourselves. Take a deep breath. Expand ourselves. Again. And one more. So once when Narada Muni, everybody knows who Narada Muni is. When he started to sing, his voice is very loud. And the demigods were saying, please stop, don't sing. Go to the teacher. And then Narada Muni went, he visited the teacher, and first thing what the teacher told him is you need to get rid of shyness. There is this negative part of shyness which prevents us, so we have microphone. Thank you. So now we do mantra. Little bit more. Very nice. That's okay. Very nice. This is nice. What else speaking?
Shyness.
Shyness, yes, shyness. So, Narada, the first instruction which Narada Muni get from his master of singing is you need to get rid of shyness. And which example teacher used? Teacher told him, as when you want to approach the lady and you get rid of the shyness, you're very shy, you're very, you don't want to do this, and you pass through your shyness and you approach the person. So similarly, when you want to sing and you feel the shyness, you need to, sit straight, take a deep breath, and pass through this negative part of shyness. Shyness is a very beautiful quality. Shyness is a wonderful quality. It helps us to develop wonderful character, actually. But there is this negative part of shyness which prevents us to express ourselves properly throughout our lives, and then we cannot really complete our personality, we cannot express ourselves in different aspects, areas of life, and therefore maybe we can miss something, but actually Krishna wants us to do, or Krishna wants us to feel, or communicate, or relate, so it influences a lot. So first thing, what he told him, you need to get rid of shyness. So these are all some small fragments of our topic, and the topic is called, I will repeat because many new attendants, devotees came. So the topic is rediscovering the secret. So I just said the secret. After we will say what is the secret. But we can now sing. We a little bit warm ourselves. And what we can sing again. So I will sing something. We will still a little bit warm up ourselves. I will sing something and you can repeat after me, okay? Take a deep breath, yeah, like you want to dive for 2 minutes under the water. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare. You see this small detail, it's very good. Nice. You can do this. Once more. So we do this on the end of this mantra, this melody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna. So how do you feel? How do you feel? You feel good? Everybody feels good? Okay. I mean, it's actually hard not to feel good in the nature in some way. You need to reject to feel good if you want to feel bad in the nature. But unfortunately, most of people they used to reject happiness, because we expect that something else will give us happiness, something what actually cannot give us happiness. So we are used to this, we get habit as a human being, we got habit to refuse happiness. So as we said, we are speaking about the topic of our workshop, seminar, let's say, is rediscovering the secret. What is the secret? Are you interested? What's the secret? Yeah. What do you think? What is the secret of all existence?
Love.
Yes. Krishna, yes. What is with Krishna? What's happening when we are with Krishna? One thing, relationship, love, happiness, all together. So this is the secret actually. So how to rediscover the secret? How to say, to uncover something what possibly could cover our ability to be naturally happy, because we are by nature, like Lord Krishna describes, we are happy by nature. Lord Krishna describes that soul is not just I am the body and I have a soul. most of people maybe think like this. But I am the soul, and I'm using this body like Bhakti Swami said a long time ago. He said, we are not human beings having spiritual experience, we are spiritual beings having human experience. So there is a big difference actually when we rediscover the source of genuine happiness. And we have here a little PowerPoint presentation. We have?
Yeah.
Huh? We have a screen and the cable. Maybe tomorrow. Today we will just introduce ourselves to each other, we will just introduce ourselves to the topic. And what is the time? Till 12 we have. Ooh. But usually when we speak and when we sing, time flies like 1 minute everything flies. More faster. So we have here the greeting. We should live with love and happiness. This is the message of our workshop. And so, rediscovering the secret. This is the name of the seminar. Would you like to rediscover the secret of happiness?
Yes.
How is that possible that we, who are naturally structured internally for happiness, that we can experience unhappiness? So why does this happen? Why is this possible? We don't need to be in ecstasy all the time, of course. This is the nature of the world. But we can express happiness in different ways. And maybe because we also expect that happiness should become like this or like that. We actually not expect, we're not happy because we measure happiness by how that I should express happiness. I should laugh, I should feel like this, I should feel like that. If I feel like this, if I feel like that, I'm supposed to not be happy, that it's not happiness. If I feel bitter, if I feel... If I feel bitter, if I feel miserable, if I feel lack of inner peace, this means I'm not happy. So this is not true. This means just something's happening there with Krishna and the authorities of the world. They are doing something, and to position ourselves very nicely there and to act like a giver in any situation, this is actually true happiness. And it will give us an inner happiness, like also I will mention Bhakti Swami when he was on his end. He was on the bed, and doctors, they said he's supposed to be in such a pain. And one thing he said, when Radha Maharaj, he shared this, Radha Maharaj was keeping him for the hand, but Bhakti Swami, despite of all these troubles and pain, he said, it cannot just be better than this. Imagine, laying down, dying, suffering huge pain, but he said, it cannot just be better than this. It just cannot be better than this. Not just. Okay. So how to reach this, how to uncover what's happening there, and how to free ourselves from locking ourselves by ourselves to experience happiness. This is something that we will work here. What kind of knowledge is important to uncover the truth about happiness, about the secrets. Like wise people, yogis, and all advanced devotees, they say, the knowledge is a process of removing the layers. It's not adding something new. Knowledge helps us understand what is covering us, so to uncover who we truly are. Knowledge is not a process of adding layers, adding things in our mind, in our intellect. It's a process of how we can remove extra, not needed layers so that we can really see ourselves. And this is also something what we will discuss in this seminar. So we can ask you, what is happiness? Is there someone who would like to share with us? How do you experience happiness? What is happiness? Don't be shy. Whatever you say is wonderful.
Absence of misery.
Absence of misery. Okay. That's important.
So for me, happiness is not having. You don't need to have money. You don't need to have wealth, etc. to be happy. You need to be in your own element, being happy. You can be on the street, but living on the street, but you're still happy. So it's the mindset, it's everything around you that makes you happy.
Wonderful. Yes, it's mindset. Yes?
Feeling spiritual connection or advancement, that you see progress in yourself or in others.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Don't feel shy. Yes?
Learning to be content with what you have instead of
Learning
to be content with what you already have instead of always wanting more, because when you want more, you never
Yes, very true. Thank you.
Experience Guru Krishna's satisfaction.
Experience of?
Experience Guru Krishna's satisfaction.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it's really also deep happiness.
Yeah. Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj said that it's when you really deeply cry when you listen about Krishna's pastimes. That's when you experience it.
This is the ultimate happiness. Music, very nice music. For the mood. Okay, thank you. This is all. Someone else wants to say? Don't be shy.
Would you like to sing?
No, they already said everything.
Would you like to sing?
I can say the same things. I can say the same things. Yes?
No, sometimes, like happiness comes, you have the long-term, or like the happiness which is more or less permanent and lasting long. You have those short-time happiness that are very temporary.
Yes.
So there's depends on how you look at things. Right?
Yes. Even some, yeah. You want to say something? Yeah.
Also, our feeling of happiness depends on the period of life in which we are and what values we are having in front of ourselves. So it's something what is constantly changing. And I can share my experience for me in the recent part of my life. Happiness is when I don't disturb anyone and I don't bring suffering to other people with my actions, words, or anything. Not spreading misery in myself. That's happiness for me.
Oh yes, me too. I'm also very happy when I manage to not disturb others in my dealings with others. Also.
And interesting, like when, for example, Narottam Das Thakur says, Hari Hari, Bifale Janama, when I enter this kind of realization, Bifale Janama. So this life, like, what a fruitless life I have lived, like, all the way here, and this kind of feeling of grief on one hand, and like what a fool it was. But at the same time, you feel some kind of happiness because you, at the same time, understand like what precious gift you have received from Guru, Parampara, and like that. So you're feeling happiness of understanding what gift this really is. At the same time, you feel happy and grief.
Yes.
I feel happy when I do service with friends.
If we also can ask you, please, when you share something from yourself, can you please say your name? These days, we meet. Can you please say your name so maybe we will get to know you closer? Thank you.
In one verse, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna said, in life, usually people, out of ignorance, we do mistakes. And then they use their words there, maybe tomorrow we can share. But, and then we use all our energy to solve problems, and if we manage to solve one problem, we consider ourselves happy. So this is like what usually we think people that is happiness. If you somehow manage to solve some problem which you created out of your ignorance, and then you're happy. But actually, this is not happiness. It's just life, practical life. Happiness is a state of being, a state of seeing, of experience. Also, there is example of there were two monks living in a monastery for 40 years, and they never quarreled. And one day after 40 years, one of them said, "Let us quarrel." Another said, "Oh, nice, let's quarrel. How is that?" You know? And one of them said, "Okay, let's say, this bread is mine." And another one said, "Okay, take it." So this is like a simple example, you know, this mentality, me and mine, you know, which is unconsciously rooted in the mind, in our behavior, programmed in our minds. It's the cause of troubles, cause of unhappiness, or disagreements, or hostilities, and different kinds. Like there is this mantra. We usually, before our vocal class, we are singing mantra with devotees. Om Sahana Avatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Devyam Karvavahe. You know this one? Tejasvinavati Dhamastu Mahavidveshavahe. It's very beautiful meaning, this mantra. Mantra says, let us move together. So you know what this means? For example, you have husband and wife, and they're moving together, not separately doing something, you know. And not moving, one is moving, another one is staying, you know. But both of them, or you have friends, or I don't know, and both of you are moving together. And then the mantra says, then you relish together. You know. Where you move, what you move together, you relish this experience. Then we do with the vigor what we do, with deep understanding. Something, what we do. We invest all our understanding, all our concentration is full concentration to do what we do with full presence, with full energy. Then let us, what has been studied by us, we feel the brilliance. So we do something, we learn something, we experience something together, and we do this with the brilliance. You know, for example, when I was in Kirtan of Indra, that was brilliance, really. I don't have a word to explain this atmosphere, you know, then to say this is absolute brilliance. Such a way of performing Kirtan, singing, and all instruments and everyone was so brilliant. And his voice, his singing, he was practicing constantly also, his singing. And such expression of our own personality and our own emotions to Krishna. As I remember when I first time saw Indra, everybody heard about Indra. Yes. When I saw him first time, I was watching, oh, look at this. He's using all his body energy and mind and everything for one syllable of Mahamantra to express it in the best way he can. So this was powerful. This is one of the keys, which we will mention after, what Lord Kapila describes, how to become happy, truly.
And this brilliance which we invest in what we do, it leads us to knowledge.
Knowledge, yes. Knowledge. And the last, yes, I forgot. Sorry. And the last part of mantra said, let us avoid hostility which comes only due to misunderstanding. So any kind of hostility which we could have in our lives is only because of misunderstanding, nothing else. So when we understand this is also happiness. It's also happy. When we come to the position that we understand that all problems comes only because of misunderstanding. When you become so free, wow, I can be really in a nice relationship with anybody. If I just keep myself in position, I feel hostility, I feel some sourness or something, between someone and with someone. This is only because I didn't understand something. Imagine this would be so good. But of course, we need to learn different kinds of lectures, we have different karmas, we have different, how to say, destinies, yes. So, someone has fat karma, someone has positive fat karma, someone has negative fat karma, someone has thin bad karma, so it's like unlimited varieties. So when we get together, it's not accidentally that you get in contact with someone, especially husbands and wives, for example. It's whole universe was participating to connect someone. It's not just accidentally you met someone. This is in our minds, maybe we see, I met someone and this is, okay, wonderful, I like this person. But so many personalities, they participated that we can meet with someone. So we should be very, very grateful. And this is also something, the gratefulness, the respect, the feeling of respect is something that we'll discuss also on this workshop. I would just mention that the kind of deep respect comes through genuine respect, through seeing of someone as they are, comes from the Shantarasa. I will just mention this, we will speak about this a little later, not today. Probably you've heard about these different kinds of rasas. Shantarasa, Dasarasa, Sakya, Vatana, yes. Who didn't heard? You can raise your hands. Who didn't?
Who didn't hear about rasas?
Okay. Okay, we will discuss about this. It's very beautiful to know this. Yeah? Just actually, everything is about relationship. Do you feel this? An ultimate relationship with Krishna. What do you think? What is the most important thing for a relationship? Communication.
Trust. Dedication.
Dedication. That's what you said. Trust. Respect. Yes.
Commitment.
Reciprocation. Yes.
Tolerance.
Tolerance.
Service.
Service. Yes.
Hearing.
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 Yes. Honesty. Sincerity.
Giving attention.
But, huh?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Yes. But why we have so much troubles in religion? We all know, you see, we all know what is important. But why there is so much disagreements and so much, actually, divorces also?
I know.
You can say it?
Yeah, I guess I
Huh?
Because we think we know.
Oh,
What did you say?
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Trouble in relationship, one of the main reasons, not the basic one, but it's when we approach other person in the mood, I know you. I already know you. So there's nothing else I'm ready to discover about you. And then through this vision we communicate. And there's no way we will actually go deeper in our relationship because this position I know makes our world so small and our perception of other person so small and our perception of Krishna even so small because we think, I know you Krishna, okay, I read about you, so that's it. There is nothing new can be. What is what they say?
That's similar thing? Wanted to say something?
I did my homework.
I mean, we are all doing our small homeworks. I mean, in the Shastra it is described that real relationship starts from Shantarasa. Shantarasa, I will just mention this after we will speak it further. Shantarasa comes from self-realization, from understanding of your spiritual nature. When you see yourself, that you're independent from the body, from the limitations of the mind, from conceptions, from beliefs, from habits, that you're a different personality, free, independent, limitless, we can say, personality inside. And you really see this inside. You're not anymore confused by the fear, you're not anymore confused by different kinds of concepts, like we mentioned. But rather, we can, because we see ourselves, we can see others in the same way. And therefore, when we see other people that have also personalities, they also like other devotees, my wife, my husband, my child, then what is appearing when we see someone really, existence of person, which comes, as we already mentioned, which comes from seeing that I exist. Oh, I exist. Usually we associate it mostly with our concepts, with our ideas, with our prejudices, with our beliefs, through habits, through something. We actually don't associate with ourselves with someone else. We are usually in fear, usually in some hurry, some stress, something, and we communicate through this. There's no real relation. Maybe when we are in love at the beginning, when we fell in love with someone, and you will do everything for this person. You are listening to everything that the person says. Every word with full trust, like God, But after some time, when we put the person and ourselves in shelves, in borders, and something is going out of the borders of the shelves, it's going on our nerves, and the borders of our understanding, then someone starts to go on our nerves slowly. We lose the desire to serve the person, we lose this desire to lose trust. You lose it, and slowly like this. But Shantarasa is very important because when we see ourselves, that we don't have actual relation with doubts, with the fears, with all concepts, beliefs and habits which are collected into the body and mind. We see that the other person is also not bounded actually by this. Then we relate with the person through help of these boundaries, through help of nature of the mind, through help of convictions. This gives us inner peace also, this space where we have insights, a lot of space to think about another person. So, what do you think? What is appearing inside of us when we really see other person for real? What is the emotion, naturally? When you really see someone.
You discover new things. You discover new things.
New things to discover, definitely. But what is this emotion which gives you the ability to discover new things?
Love.
Well, maybe it's not still love because we've just started to know the person. Yes.
Hi, so I'm Abhi Roy. For me, it's
Thank you.
the first thing is you get like when you get to know that person is your like the expression. The first impression is always the last. So you're getting to know that person if it's someone that you will get along with or you don't get along with, or like are you like-minded person or not.
Compatibility.
Yes.
Compatibility.
But at the same time, at the beginning, as you said, you meet the person, you feel in love with that person, etc. But then down the line,
There's
that's
no
when-
compatibility.
yes.
How is that? Before it was absolutely.
But at the same time, you know, like there's the saying, birds of the same feathers flock together. But then it also says the other quote is, opposites attract. So which is which? Like,
Well, this is a great mixture which nobody can solve. But this emotion which appears from seeing someone is something what will make everything compatible, especially with people with whom you are met already, with whom you are already connected. So what is this emotion? What is naturally you feel when you see someone? When you really see someone in the heart? Connection, respect. Respect. You have true respect. Wow, I'm honored to be with this person. Yeah.
And before respect, we feel amazed. We feel amazed by the personality. Like when we see any creature in this world, a bee, a horse, or a cow, we're like, wow, the cow is there.
Yeah.
So, and then there's nature is coming, feeling like, I would like to connect, and you know, I respect this creature, and then through respect we approach and we try to serve, to do something nice, to get experience. So same in relationship. First comes amusement with the personality, amazement, sorry, and then respect, deep respect, on which we can build whatever for a healthy relationship.
And honest dealings with our concepts. You know? Because we will associate the two concepts through our beliefs, through our habits, you know. And we honestly say, oh, you know, if you made a mistake, the other person will react. Like when I make a mistake, my wife definitely reacts. This is my treasure. You know, when you have someone who's reacting, this is very good. Therefore, you can know then, oh, I made a mistake. Then you will try to do better.
If our dear people don't react anymore, we're in deep trouble.
Yes.
Then we need to ask them or to force them to react, you know, to move on the next step, the next stage.
So, but this will lead, this gradation of rasa and the growth of our being, you know, towards the ultimate expression of our personality. Do you feel sometimes yourself like volcanoes? Huh? Like there is a volcano and it waits to erupt. You feel sometimes? Like a volcano full of special emotions, needs, you know. You feel it there inside, some deeply, you can explode, huh? Yes. You feel sometimes like this?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But globally in your life, you know, you feel something inside so condensed, you know, wow, it's so juicy inside. Huh? You feel?
In good and bad.
Yes.
Yes.
When you fell in love, a little bit you express this. Wow. You're flying, you know, and you know, you're running, doing everything, totally enthusiastic. Your emotions, you're crying, you're also, you know, you cannot live without this person, you cannot wait to meet this person again. You're listening to music, you know, reminding yourself about the person.
Yes, in the beginning we send each other thousands of messages every hour, asking what you're doing, where you are, and then by the time you don't want even to greet this person in the morning, they wake up and like, and then moving on. This thing on this thing we can, what was that?
We can influence.
We can influence this, you know, like we are capable of changing those things, keeping them always fresh. I mean, we speak about relationships so much because, you know, Krishna is here and we, soul, It's our nature to have relationship with Him, but how can we have relationship when we don't know the concept of how to have it? We cannot make it here work. How then we can approach Krishna when we cannot even, not always we can see Him present, see Him as a person. So that's why we invest so much time and energy in this topic.
So let us together go to the journey of rediscovering the secret. The secret. I will tell one story which describes like basic, let's say, attitude. There's a story about the story is called the Song of the Frog. You know the story? No? Okay. So there was one priest in one temple, and he was a very powerful priest practicing a lot of austerities. And one evening he came to this place to meditate, and he was preparing, and he started to meditate. And then the frogs, they started to sing. And he was trying to focus himself, to ignore the sound, and the sound was disturbing him. But as much as he was trying to concentrate, to ignore the sound, he couldn't. And he left to the window, he said, "Silence!" And all, because he was very powerful, all frogs get silent. And he said, "Oh, perfect atmosphere." And he sat down back, to his place. And then voice from inside said, interrupted him this time. Voice said, "You think that your chanting of your mantra is more dear to God's ears than the singing of the frogs?" And he said, "Well, what is so special in the singing of the frogs?" And the voice said, "You think that God accidentally created the singing of the frogs?" Whatever he creates is full in himself. Whatever he creates is complete in itself, So it means that it's perfect. And the voice said, "So go to the window and tell frogs to sing." And he left the window, he opened the window and he said, "Please sing." And frogs, they started to sing. And then for the first time in his life, he heard silence inside of himself. He returned to his place, he started chanting Krishna. And then all the sounds of the frogs, the singing of the frogs, that was creating for him wonderful ambience for chanting. And he, for the first time in his life, he experienced his mantra, Mahamantra. So this story shows us the basic attitude which we need to have when we chant, when we practice, where we live actually, which is supposed to be a normal part of everyday life in some way. Depends on different kinds of situations. But it is the real attitude which gives us, opens the door, gives us the key to open the door of the chamber of the secret. We enter into the magical world when we have such an attitude. Once when I was in Vrindavan, a long time ago, it was 1999, and in the morning, still the sun didn't rise up, you could see little brightness from the sun, and it was so beautiful. Everywhere peacocks singing, wow, 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 and then the parrots singing, different people, devotees singing different mantras for Krishna all over on the roofs. I was also up on the roof of this ashram where I was living, and and I sat down and I was thinking, wow, such atmosphere, wow, it cannot be better. And then a crow came next to me. No. And then I waved my hand, and she said, wah, 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 wah. More stronger, exactly, at me. And then in that moment, Krishna gave me remembrance to this, about this story. And I thought, oh, sorry. And I remembered that, you sent this crow, this beautiful being, let me accept her, And then the atmosphere became a million times more beautiful, you know. And I felt Krishna present there. And then Krog left, and I was very sad actually, when she left. And really it works. Every time when we do this, it works. Usually we live, I mean, at least me, we usually live in this mood. If I don't, you know, if I don't fulfill the ambience which I want to have, when I chant, when I meditate, then I will be nervous, you know, if someone is disturbing my order when I meditate or when I live. You know, it doesn't need to be only meditation or something, it's just life. Then we will get, you know, what's the word? Expel? Not expel. What means expel? Okay, when you get rejected from some dimension.
Yeah, expelled.
Expelled from the dimension of magic, you know. And you really can feel this. If you really pay attention, you really can feel that you was rejected from the dimension of magic. You know, that you need to now make effort to return to this dimension, you know, where everything becomes, you know, magical. Chanting also, you know, becomes very magical, you know, when you have this attitude. When we see others, like our teachers, I can learn from anyone around. Like Lord Krishna describes to Uddhava. He said to Uddhava, and he personally said, Lord Krishna said, I personally consider this process the most important process. He said, God himself said, to offer with the mind, body and the words respect to everyone, not only, you know, some respected people, but in front, he said, in front of everyone, in front of snakes, cruel people, kind people, you know, because you see my power, he said in Sanskrit, you see my nature in everyone, you know. At least when we meditate. But usually we get used to control everything. Without us, nothing can work. But usually, if you will die now, the world will continue to exist very nicely without us. Even if all people will die on the planet, the nature will be very fine. But if nature will die, we will die. We cannot live without nature, you know, but nature can live without us. I mean, we are very important, all of us, we are very special, very unique, and so this is also the next part, what we will speak. So we said, rediscovering the secret. And the secret is the treasures which we have with us inside. We all have, today, as we mentioned, we will just go into the topic and we will go more practical next days. So, to discover the secret, the treasures which we have inside, what are our treasures? We have like a basement, we were speaking, you know, before. We have like a basement in the heart, you know, special basement where we put all our treasures, you know, our things, our special things. But because we was neglecting the basement, the heart, paying attention to the heart, you know, for after a long, long time, the electricity broke, all wires, they cracked, so there's no light anymore inside, a lot of dust collected. Even Krishna sitting there covered with dust. And we hurt ourselves on his crown. Oh, no, there's something bad here, you know, it's uncomfortable, I reject my heart. But the only thing which needs to be done is to turn on the light again, to fix the electricity in the heart. So this is happening starting with this story like we were speaking. So when you chant, when you live your life, we consciously pay attention. Am I living in a state of gratefulness? Gratitude. I mean, gratitude, sorry, not gratitude. But feeling of gratitude, feeling of thankfulness to everything what is part of my life. You know. Lord Krishna invests all his power and energy to arrange everything around me so I can advance. And do I really pay attention in this way to all happenings or all things or details or dealings of my life? So this is something, yes?
We also can say not only gratitude, the state of gratitude, but this life being grateful, it brings us to our abundance. And abundance means that we feel complete inside. We are in abundant state, and then we become able to give, to serve, out of heart to make good deeds. Because when we live in a state of deficit, there are so many holes inside which we are trying to fulfill, to feel complete. And then our relations with others and even our spiritual practice become something that we use as a tool of becoming satisfied. And there still will be no place for us to give back, because we're still just trying to touch ourselves.
Yeah.
And so this feeling of gratitude is very, very important for every person. What to say about us practicing spiritual practice, getting knowledge, how much is given, remembering how much we are fortunate to have society of devotees, fortunate to have Mahamantra present in our life. When we live in communities, we all associate as devotees. Sometimes it's slipping, away from our attention how much we are fortunate. We get covered with so many random, just mundane things. Oh, this cloth is not in the place, kitchen is dirty, temple room is not prepared. And then our respect is slowly getting, very shallow. So gratitude is something what we need to think consciously about, and if we feel lack of it, then to develop it in the best way we know. If we don't know, then we ask someone, and we shouldn't stay alone with this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I forgot to mention, if during our conversation, our topic, if something appears inside of you, something you want to share, please always do.
When I say about these holes in our soul developing, I observe that many people use other people to fill these holes, and I have experienced in my practice that people hurt each other on that way because they are using other people instead of serve.
Mm-hmm.
So when we speak about relationships in modern society, my observation is people are using people, they are not serving people, from the I accept you like you are and I want to give you the best for you to also be good and good, So I feel it's such a disbalance. I live in a Western world, so this is my experience. I'm trying to not live, but in the work ambience, in the the dynamic is like that. We are using customers, so we are living like we are in a lack of so much things, but we have everything on a material plan here, everything, and still it's like more. So about these holes, somehow we are projected to feel like we have lack of everything, but we are not have lack. We have everything we need.
Yes.
But I experience that people are not so good to share love. True, genuine, like from the heart. It's more like transactions.
Yes.
Yes, so maybe but relationship in general.
Yes.
Yes.
Something came to me, I remember I heard long time ago. Actually, I hear it here and there all the time. I will try to put it all together. Modern civilization, we live in a very unnatural way. And it started such a long time ago, when people started to shift from the natural conditions in big towns. And when we are living in nature, or close to nature, it's easy to maintain the mode of goodness, which is so important for developing, inner space and satisfaction and all these kind of things. And when we move to towns, the mode of passion is predominating here. But what does mode of passion is twisting our mind. And probably all of you heard the saying, people stopped to love people, now they love things and use people. So that's what happens when we are under the influence of mode of passion. And mode of passion always leads us to the mode of ignorance, if we're not conscious. So that's what happens in the modern world. So maybe what we can do about, at least in our life, we can try to study what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what is mode of goodness, especially if we are in conditions of downs and working, non-devotees and everything. So, and we try to develop this or sustain it in our life, the mode of goodness, and and just try to act and think on that platform. And then, of course, whatever you send in the universe will come back to you. Or at least even if somebody will use it and you will return it back in the service, you will still feel abandoned inside, And for other people, you can just feel this, how to say, feel compassion. They don't know. They just simply don't know. They're just cooking in that without having even a clue where is the beginning and where is the end. And compassion comes in form of just nice words, prasadam especially. I mean, devotees can give a lot. Thank you.
Very often we share with the devotees that something what we learned from our vocal school. What we notice through vocal school, actually, that most of us, this is one detail which can help us in everything. Yeah. Whatever problem you could have, whatever the disturbance you could have, Lord Krishna suggests, you just sit straight and take a deep breath. So with this, we can solve all the problems. Lord Krishna said in Srimad Bhagavatam, he said, the breathing system is the greatest strength. So Lord himself, he said, if you breathe nicely, you will develop full strength. Physical, mental, emotional. So whenever you feel yourself troubled, you feel something's not working, you just sit straight and start to breathe nicely. So you expand your stomach when you inhale and relax yourself. Just several times, we don't need to think special things inside. When we just do this, physically it will happen. Things will come on its place, emotions will come on its place. You will slowly start to understand everything as it is. If we are not attached to something, how we want to experience things around us. For example, there is a story about a man who was blind. Yes. There was a man who was blind, and he wanted so much to see the green color. Do you know the story? No. And he was running around asking everybody, please tell me, sir, what is the green color? But most of the people, they were thinking, how can I explain him what is the green color? He's blind, how it's not possible. And one day he met a musician who said, I have to describe you, what is the green color? And he's pleased. And the musician said, the green color is like music. Very beautiful, like music. And he said, wow, green color is like music. Wow, this is so beautiful. And after some years, one friend came to him, he said, I found a person who can cure, maybe he can cure your eyesight, he can cure your eyes, you can start to see. And this man, he went there, and it was able to cure his sight. It was possible to cure his sight. And he cured his sight, he started to see, and he said, finally now I can see the green color. And he started to run around in the forest, but he couldn't see the green color. He was searching, where's the green color? But he was searching for the music, He got information that the green color is like the music, and he was keeping himself to this concept that actually he couldn't see the green color, even when he started to see, literally, practically with eyes. Similarly, we also live in a similar way, like a fish in the ocean, who heard from the fishes. This example, fish was not running around, but swimming around. And she, on one place, she met a group of fishes speaking about the ocean. And she heard, yeah, ocean is so beautiful, magnificent, wow, it's so beautiful place, and everything is so nice. And this fish started to run around. Where's the ocean? No ocean. Where's the ocean? Oh, and she became sad. There's only water here. So similarly, we also seek for Krishna, we also seek for love, we seek for wonderful relations and specific personalities to be connected with, But we search and search and search and search, but there is no, because there is only this, only my husband, only my wife, only my child, only this my friend, only this Sweden, It's only Norway, it's only Bosnia, It's only whatever can be there. This emotion, oh this emotion, oh this emotion. And like this, like fish. There is no ocean, only water, So we are swimming in the ocean, not being able to see the miracle which is happening all the time around us. That we are actually swimming inside of it, And only the words are separate. I mean, the meaning which we give and the words which we use are separating us literally from the truth. Yes, one more story I will tell you today. One man got a dog, hunting dog. And one day, it was a prince. They left together to the hunting place. There was one lake there. And his servants, they scared the birds. He took arrow and bow and poof, shoot at the bird. The bird fell across the lake. And the dog, he wanted to see what dog would do. The dog ran there nicely. But he was running on the water, catch the bird, brought the bird back, running on the water. And this prince was, it's a miracle. I got a special dog, my God, what is this? He's running on the water, Tomorrow I need to call my brother to see this. And tomorrow came, they did the same thing. Servants scared the birds, he shot at the bird fell across the lake, dog ran on the water, brought the bird back, running on the water, and the prince said, did you saw this? The brother was, what? Your dog doesn't know how to swim? This is the end of the story. So the story tells us very nicely in a beautiful way why we cannot see the miracle. Because we have a meaning, we give meaning to things in our way, and they cannot be as they are, because we already give etiquettes, we put etiquettes everywhere around us, or even on ourselves. So we cannot see the miracle. Like he said, what? Your dog doesn't know how to swim? The dog was running on the water. It was more bigger miracle than to swim. So when we return to our lives, when we return to our home, when we return to ourselves, when we chant or when we contemplate, let us ask ourselves practically, what is my way of experiencing the world? What are my reactions? Did I fall into some kind of trap of my reactions, of my visions of the world? What kind of habits I have of thinking, of feeling, of experiencing or reacting? So in this way, definitely, when we pay attention to them, not only that we will see beauty in our concepts, in our habits, but we will enrich them with our personality, with our presence, with our beautiful existence actually. We will enrich them and they will become so beautiful. Because anyway we need to react to our natures of the mind. But even the nature of our mind, not only the spiritual nature, there is the nature of the mind, of the body. We don't even use that normally. But what to say about using spiritual nature? To discover the real nature of the spiritual nature. And for the end, I will read for you one verse, so we can maybe contemplate on this verse. It's a very beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Sorry, I was thinking it's a screensaver because it flies. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. I didn't write, the number, but tomorrow I promise I will find it. Definitely I will. Last time also I said I will find the number, but I didn't. So, it's from 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, this verse. It's very beautiful. And even you can write it, or write it after you remember. It's very beautiful. It discovers some parts of this process of removing layers which covers the secret, the knowing, to know the secret. So the verse says, when sun rises, it reveals everything what is situated around us. We can understand this. In the darkness there is no sun, we cannot see nothing. When sun raises, We can see everything situated around us. But sun didn't create nothing of that. If someone don't understand, please ask. So sun reveals everything what we see, but sun didn't create this. It was already there. Similarly, what Krishna said, the light from the genuine experience of the self and the Supreme reveals true nature of our own original identity, eternally present within us. So, like when sun raises, we see everything what is here, but the sun integrated this. Like when we attain self-realization, it's not that things appeared here, but it's already there. So it's already present now. Everything what we need, like we were speaking. So we just, like Krishna said, we need to go deeper inside. Try to do practically, what we can do practically always when we go to sing Kirtan, when we go to chant, when we want to calm down or something, you just sit straight, because the body will function the best way, it will give you the best results, and also mind will calm down with the breathing. And when mind is calmed down, what is happening? It becomes transparent. And you can pass through the mind into heart, and there everything is understandable. Everything, we can understand everything there. But mind can confuse things. What is the mind? Mind is just a mass of memory, isn't it? Appearing randomly every day, hundreds of thoughts appear in the mind randomly. Just like a consequence of memory, gotten from the past lives or our past in this life. And we try to construct our identity out of hundreds of thoughts which are appearing, and they will appear, then disappear, appear, disappear, appear, disappear. And therefore we feel like this, lost, because we are trying to identify ourselves with something what it's not possible to grasp and to identify like identity. There's hundreds of thoughts passing, just memory, Yes. So, and our body, it's called in Vedas, Annamaya portion. What means Anna? Do you know what is on Sanskrit Anna? Food. Huh? Yeah. No, just probably it said food. So our body is nothing else than transformation of food. No, it's just transformation of food, it's not identity. Like when we was created inside the womb, but the body, it was supplied by the food from the mother. It was creating. The creation was development, the structure was developing. And it became, like we look now, it's, construction composed out of food. It's therefore called Annamaya kosha. Kosha means layer, And there is a Jnanamaya kosha, or Manomaya kosha, it's mind, which is also just a structure composed out of memory, So we always feel lost when we try to identify with something like that, like mind, like the body, because they're constantly changing. They're not stable, they're not at all something that we can use to feel ourselves comfortable, to feel ourselves confident, we need to go more deeper. So this, we will go more practically in the next, our workshops. Thank you very much for being with us today and giving us your blessing, your association. If anybody has something that is not clear or what you would like to ask, and we also have a homework for you.
Yes, we have a homework for you till tomorrow. It's a practical thing which is related to this body, because he said today a few points. The first one is the deep breathing, and the second one is the proper posture, the way how we sit. So we will humbly ask you to pay attention to your body during the day and maybe tomorrow's morning when you perform your duties or at the end of the program, when you take prasadam. Pay attention to the way how you keep your body and the way, to them they know they were singing workshop. And
whenever we say they do.
And the way how you breathe. So if you consciously notice that, oh, now I sit like this, please observe your state, observe your emotions, how you feel when you sit like So if it happened that you noticed and then you fixed yourself, please pay attention to that part. How will you feel after you fix the posture of your body? The same with breathing. Pay attention, how is going your breathing? Is it constant? Is it deep? Or you're keeping it on the pause or something like that? And if there will be opportunity for you, try to use breathing system to maybe calm yourself down or whatever. And then tomorrow we will be more than happy to hear your experiences and your realizations. Okay? Is it the deal?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Prabhupada ki jai.